So, Mr. Kokore? Okay, so I was saying that it's one of a kind of opportunity that we are having a one-on-one talk. Also, at the same way, because it could facilitate, our discussion, in a more direct way. I will firstly, define the topic. The topic is about, accelerating the promotion of sustainable development goals within a post-COVID-19 context for our West African region. Knowing that our West African region contains 16 countries, we will go step by step. Going first from the West African Economic Monetary Union countries, and secondly, we will extend it to the over 8 countries that are part of our ECOWAS region. Firstly, it is also about outlining the SDGs. We have 17 Sustainable Development Goals that are a collection of 17 global goals set by the United Nations General Assembly in 2015 for the 2030 Target Achievement Year. The SDGs are part of Resolution 70/1 that have been set by the United Nations General Assembly, as has been said. What are the reasons and which goals are these that have been listed? The reason of these goals is after the, the first set of goals that have been put in place, that was dealing with only, global development. These ones deals with no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water, sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation, infrastructure, reducing inequality, sustainable cities and communities being ensured for every country, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life on hand, peace, justice, and establish strong institutions, and finally, guaranteeing a partnership to accomplish these goals. So these goals being known, we notice one thing. First thing is that crisis that have affected Africa through domestic and external channel was due to the fact that travels within this region have always been very dynamic. In pre-COVID-19 condition and macroeconomic analysis supply show that Africa faces a dual public health and economic crisis that risk healthcare systems destroyment and livelihoods potential being reduced. So it will have an effect on health, agriculture, but also environment. We have to know that the first coronavirus case was recorded in Egypt on 14 February 2020. When it occurs, 52 countries have reported cases in Africa. Initially confined to capital cities, cases were reported in a significant number of countries in Europe and in America. So we see that Africa hasn't been the first continent touched, primarily. On 17th of April, the World Health Organization, could you close the door, please? On the 17th of April, the World Health Organization warned that Africa could be the next epicenter of the coronavirus, and in a best case scenario, governments should introduce rapidly measures to introduce intensive social distance and also apply all the barrier measures that have been put in place. But the World Health Organization also warned Africa that Africa could have about 120 million infections by 2030 if the coronavirus spread pandemic continues. Many most African governments have therefore implemented all these measures to encourage social distancing, focusing on border and travel restrictions. So for this first part, I've tried to describe you how it has occurred and what mainly our governments have planned to bring a response, a quick response on it. What's your opinion personally on these different steps that have been taken? Okay. Okay. Okay, I mean, I will help you out. I'll help you out with the start. The beginning would be on the different health system within the West African Economic Monetary Union that have been put in place. We have provided data and analysis on each country's response. And then when we will leave the medical and sanitarian aspect, we will go to the social and economic life. How would the economic life would be protected and you know, like well endorsed by, you know, government, institution, and public and private organization to help economies, our economies, to restart as in pre-COVID situation. And then finally, we could conclude our discussion talking about these different stakes and challenges that were you know, like presented to see how our countries can define what is their main challenges as to maintain a good health and sanitation system in order to prevent the spread of this pandemic. I don't know if that makes it clearer for you. Mm-hmm.
So, the governments, I think, West African governments, have put in place some measures.
Yeah.
When COVID-19 pandemic broke out, and you can still see that despite what it needs, there's still a lot to do.
Okay.
It's a huge problem, like cover, and as we all well know, our countries have other concerns with COVID-19. We had
Mhm.
This pandemic came as another additional headache that companies have. They don't know what they can do. Yeah. They don't know what they can do.